Bones Highland. Meanwhile, the Lakers with 26 from LeBron, 21 of those coming in the first half. Hachimura pours in 20 on 50% shooting from the field. Austin Reeves also above 50%. The Lakers had 4 of their 5 starters shoot 50% or better tonight. And for the second straight game, they shoot 50% from 3 and from the field. Our final score in this one, Adam Austin will be taking your calls and getting you ready for Indiana, along with recapping this one when we come back. The score, 122-90. Lakers take down the Clippers, and the battle for LA is even at 1, and it will resume in crypto on the 28th. For Carlo Jimenez, Big Brother Jake Warner, Chris Taylor, our statistician, Daniel West back in the studio. Talk to you in a few. Lakers take down the Clippers. Here on your Clippers Audio Network.
Well, let the panic begin. I told you guys pregame, if the Clippers lost this game, it would be the worst loss of the season. Not only do they lose, and I think this stuff matters, they didn't show up and they got blown out. Brutal, Clipper Nation. Lack of intensity, lack of focus, and zero excuse for it because the Lakers are dealing with all the same variables. The trade deadline, being on a long road trip. They've had it worse than the Clippers, actually. Got to be better than this. James Harden and Kawhi have to be better than this. 2 games in a row. Shocking. Yeah, I said on X, they're playing like a team that's worried about other things. That has their mind on the trade deadline, but can't let it happen. Not in a game of consequence like this. What have I been saying? Head-to-head record is huge in the standings here because the Clippers aren't going to catch them in conference record. And they need to win the season series against the Lakers, which means they'd have to win the next 2 games now where we expect Luka Doncic to be playing. Daniel West points this out. At least it wasn't on national TV or anything. Yikes. This is not the type of performance you want the rest of the country to see. I don't know if this is a catalyst for moves to come. I don't think the Clippers front office is going to overreact. It's not like they get magically more assets to trade all of a sudden or more picks, and still going to be difficult for them to bring guys in because other teams have more to offer. So I'm not expecting huge moves, but been wrong before. .45 first quarter. As we get updates here from Chris Taylor. The Lakers 45 points. Most of the Clippers have allowed in a quarter this season, and it happened in the first. The Clippers just looked completely disengaged. I mean, that was a bad performance in so many different ways. Now, the Clippers get embarrassed on their home court by their crosstown rivals now in the Los Angeles Lakers, who win 122-97 here at Intuit Dome. Welcome into your postgame show. I'm Adam Oslin. Coming up, we'll have your postgame box score. We'll have Clippers talk for you. 866-987-2570. 866-987-2570 is the phone number. Let's head over to your radio voice of the Clippers in Carlo Jimenez. Carlo, it looked like to me the Clippers just came out here a little bit lifeless, like they were sleepwalking through the ball game, almost like they knew, hey, the Lakers are down AD. They don't have Luka Doncic tonight after the trade. They should be easy pickings. Not to be. They got smoked tonight.
Yeah, the Clippers, Adam, were in this game for maybe a couple minutes in the second half, but the Lakers, ever since taking a 10-point lead, ran away with things. And they did it in a way that I think was unexpected coming into tonight's contest. I mean, we were talking about how this is a Laker team that is bottom 5 in the NBA in points in the paint. There's a Clipper team that's top 10 in the NBA in points in the paint. Well, the Lakers won the points in the paint battle significantly in this one. It finished plus 10, but overall, they dominated that blue painted area here at Intuit Dome. We talked about how the Clippers had to do a good job of keeping the Lakers off the glass. They have 10 offensive rebounds in this game. If you're the Clipper team, there's clearly some fatigue going on. I mean, this is a team, Adam, that's the third oldest team in the NBA. And I think we saw a little bit of that today. James Harden and Kawhi Leonard both struggle from the field. A combined 6 for 24 in tonight's contest. You hope, Adam, in a long season of 82 games, sometimes you need a refocusing game. Sometimes you need a game in which you can get some rest from your starters, and then everybody else can find a way to get minutes off the bench, get in rhythm, and come into the next game, people can really, really lock in. So for this Clipper team, Adam, you just hope that when Indiana rolls into town on Thursday, it's going to be the third and 4 nights for the Pacers, who are playing on a back-to-back tonight, then a day off. They have to make the long 2.5-hour flight from Portland here to LA. The Clippers can come out with a renewed focus and intensity. By the way, the Portland Trailblazers have won 9 of their last 10, and they dominate Indiana 112-89. Chauncey Billups is making a run here before All-Star break. Good for a former Clipper assistant.
No doubt.
Who is having his team focused and locked in. I think for this game, obviously, I think because it's the Lakers, it hurts a little bit more. Teams have been shooting well against the Clippers from the outside on the season. Indiana shot 20% tonight, so they'll be due coming into Intuit Dome, of course. But you just hope that the reaction to this is so positive that you forget about what tonight was. And sometimes you got to take a step back to take 2 steps forward. And you hope this can be that kind of night for the Clippers. Yes, you take the step back, but can you take the 2 steps forward to finish the rest of the season before All-Star break?
I mean, you got to have a wake-up call. You get beat by your city rival like this, you have to respond. That's what it has to be with this Clippers team. And I think that's what's most surprising to me. It shouldn't take much to get up for a game against the Lakers. They're 38-10 against the Lakers going back to the 2012 season. Now they're 38-11. They've always gotten up for these games. Road trip, 4-game roadie, you're back home. Sometimes that first game back, you just are in slow motion a little bit. That shouldn't happen against the Los Angeles Lakers, who, by the way, have been on a Grammy road trip. They haven't been home yet. There's really no excuse for this type of performance from the Clippers where, they started slow and they never really found it. There was that point in the third quarter, we talked about it, where it was a 13-point game. And you mentioned it at the time, but that shot from Austin Reeves over Ivica Zubac on that top side 3-pointer, that was probably the biggest shot of the ball game.
Yeah.
For them to reestablish some stability with the score, with them going right back up 16. Then he would have a layup, as there were too many of those in this ball game. But outside of that, the Clippers just were not competitive in this one.
No, the Lakers made a lot of tough shots. Credit them. I think they responded every time the Clippers were able to get a bucket to go. And the Lakers are playing with an offensive mojo. I mean, they might want to keep Luke on the bench. Second straight game, they shoot over 50% from the field and from the 3-point line without Anthony Davis. I mean, they have just played so well today. I don't think the Clippers need any drastic moves. They don't need to go out there and really change things up. They just need to get back to the way they've played. That's the most reassuring thing about this, Adam, is this isn't an issue that the Clippers can't solve, right? They have played really good basketball this season and have been able to beat some really good teams in some tough environments. And for 2 straight games, your superstars struggle. Your superstars struggle in this one, and the team as a whole. So, I mean, Ivica Zubac had 20 and 19 last time the Clippers played the Lakers. He had 8 and 10 tonight for this Clip team. Shot 7 shots. So I think for the Clippers, a reflective moment, hopefully a refocusing moment, and you look towards Indiana, then Utah, then Memphis, then Utah again. 3 of those 4 games, Adam, are against teams that I think the Clippers feel like they should be able to get a win. I know Indiana's sitting at 4 seed out west, but they just lost to Portland a couple of days ago. They barely beat Utah in the game before that. So
bring it up because you mentioned something earlier with Coach Lue. It was a really interesting answer. Kind of took us behind the scenes a little bit of the Clippers' philosophy and just how they're thinking about going into the All-Star break and the type of record they're looking for. For those who didn't hear it, if you could just reiterate what Coach Lue said to you, Carlo.
Yeah, it was interesting, Adam. He said in that 4-game road trip they wanted to go 2-2. That was a goal, and we've heard Ty talk about this before, where he will set goals for the team that the coaching staff has about how they want to finish certain stretches. One of those goals was in the final 15 games before the All-Star break. They wanted to go 10-5. He said now this was before they added a game, but the Clippers were sitting at 8-4 in that stretch, and he felt like if they go 10-5, that's a win. So they lose tonight. Theoretically, now you want to win out. I know it puts you a little above 10-5, but again, all the schedule got flipped around for the Clippers. So they want to finish 12-5, if my math is right. But yeah, you got 4 games left before All-Star. So I mean, you got to get it done against Indiana. You get a Utah team that's going to be looking to lose. If we're being honest, they are not trying to win games right now. Although they're winning games, but they're not trying to.
Yeah. And the Clippers have 3 days off coming up.
Yeah.
You talk about regrouping, resetting, refocusing. They have an opportunity to after that game on Saturday, but you can't overlook anyone beforehand.
No, not at all. You cannot overlook anyone. And you get Chris Dunn back. I thought he was great defensively in this game, Adam. 3 steals for him in his minutes. But it felt like the Clippers really sank their own ship when Derrick Jones Jr. and Dunn both got those 2 fouls in the first quarter, because the Clippers then LeBron couldn't miss, and the Clippers could not put Dunn or Derrick into the ball game to try to stop him, and things went away. So the Clippers, some unfortunate calls there to down the stretch, unable to get into a rhythm defensively in this game. And what do you hope comes out of this game? You hope you see one of the best starts of the season against Indiana on Thursday. This team looks like they are trying to be that top 4 seed that, let's be honest, Adam, the expectations are higher now. I mean, this is a team that has played so well through the first, 48 games. This is game 50
Yeah,
today?
50 tonight.
I mean, they've played so well through the first 50 games of the season that this is a team gunning for a top 4 seed. I think they know they can be a top 4 seed out west, and this is a 5 seed in the Lakers. They are 1 behind. You mentioned it. It's important to win those tiebreakers. They do not have the tiebreaker against Denver, who's also above them in the 4 seed right now. So the Clippers have to come out with that focused energy. As James Harden told Lauren Rosen a couple of games ago, we want to walk into All-Star break with some swagger. And to do that, you got to sweep these final 4 games, at least go 3-1 in this stretch.
Yeah, can't have a foot out the door, can't have any senioritis as you get close to the All-Star break. You have to take care of business, and especially after tonight's loss as the Clippers fall to the Lakers. And Coach Lue said post-game, the last 3 games have really pissed me off. So even in wins, a head coach can be frustrated, guys, because it always matters how you play out there. And they've lost now 2 in a row, but he's going back to the Charlotte game then, where the Clippers really didn't play their best. We criticized even that win heavily, and Coach Lue didn't like the way they played in that one either.
And I think that's what Clipper fans need to love about Ty Lue is he's right there with you. I mean, he understands the frustrations. He's being real with this team, not only inside the locker room, but outside the locker room towards the media. And this is not a team that lives in delusion. They often, Adam, live in reality, even in wins like against Charlotte. And that's because their head coach, Ty Lue, holds them to a high standard. It's why they were the 4 seed and 8-2 in their last 10 games before these 2 losses. The Clippers know they can be an excellent team in the NBA. And when you have games like this, you just struggle because it's not like they came out here, shot 50%, and the Lakers won by 3. Then what do you okay, you know what? The Lakers made more shots than we did.
Yeah, what if they were just hot and the Clippers were just cold tonight? It didn't feel like that.
No, it didn't feel. And where you see that is the points in the paint. Where you see that is the offensive rebounding, right? Those are things that the Clippers have been good at this year that they can control that did not go their way today. So for this Clipper team, Ty Lue being honest, letting us know they feel like they need to refocus and lock in. And what a better time to do it than here at home, a place in which for a while, Adam, now they have been excellent in this building. They dropped to 17-12 on the season, but you take away those first 4 losses. I mean, they're 17-8 in their last 25 games here at home. Indiana coming to town. You want to tally another win against a good Eastern Conference opponent and hopefully turn the page. You're going to have ebbs and flows. You play 82 games. It's how do you respond to those ebbs? The Clippers are going to have to figure that out. 7:30. I'm excited because that's going to be a big game.
I'll say this. I expect a big bounce back because we just seen something similar to this. The win over Washington also I felt like was alarming.
Yeah.
The Clippers weren't very good in that ball game. They still ended up winning by 17, but they weren't playing their brand of basketball. The very next game here against the Milwaukee Bucks, they had one of their best victories of the season.
Yeah.
So hopefully Thursday night back here at Intuit Dome, the Clippers respond the way they need to against a good Indiana Pacers team. Tip-off for that one is at 7:30. We'll have your pregame show starting at 6:30. Carlo Jimenez, great call as always. Appreciate you, bro. Good to see you. Big brother Jake Warner, Chris Taylor back here at the Dome. Let's do it again on Thursday night.
Gang's all back for Thursday. Let's go.
Coming up next, final box score. Clippers fall 122-97 to the Lakers here at Intuit Dome. I'm Adam Osland, and you're listening to your post-game locker room show right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network.
And you another drink.
Easy.
Time. Thanks, Daniel.
All right, we're going until 10:30 tonight, guys. Pacific time. Ooh, Chris Taylor's got the numbers. Ooh, does he got the numbers? Oh, guys, we're frustrated too. I love that Coach Lue quote. He's pissed about the last 3 games. One of those games was a win, and he's still pissed. That's not good enough. The level of professionalism and competing, that competitive integrity that Brian Seaman always talks about, that has to be intact. This is it right here. It wasn't prevalent tonight, but that's what they have to get back to. I think they will on Thursday. I think we're going to see a much different Clippers ball club. That's, of course, the day of the trade deadline. By the time the game tips off, it'll be 7.5 hours afterwards. Yeah, they got to show that fight again. Wake up call, said Bay City RSX. Defense was bad all over the place. That wasn't Clippers basketball at all. So I said, I don't use that word embarrassing lightly. I don't throw it around very often. But tonight, I said it. I don't just hand that out. This was an embarrassing performance by them. Good ass dog. Clippers lose 122-97 to the Los Angeles Lakers. One of the worst losses of the last 6 years. I know it's no longer the 2-1-3 era, but Kawhi Leonard's still here. One of the worst losses with Kawhi Leonard. He played tonight. He didn't play well. 4 of 11, 11 points. James Harden, 7 points. 4 points in the first half, 3 points in the second half. That's some alarming stuff. And the alarm bells were going off for me in the first quarter. The Clippers gave up a 45 spot. Most they have allowed in a quarter this season. They gave the Lakers all the confidence in the world to start off this ball game up 45-29. Clippers look DOA. And I'm going to be tough on them because you're playing the Lakers. I don't care how mentally draining a road trip is and that first game back home and the trade deadline and all these variables that the Lakers are dealing with. And in some ways, worse. They just made a huge trade. They didn't have AD because he's in Dallas, and they don't have Luka yet. What's the excuse? They just were on a 6-game Grammy road trip. The Clippers were out there for 4. They're at home. The Lakers had one more day of rest, but that is not going to do it. That is not going to explain away this performance by the Clippers. They ended up shooting 38% from the field, 12 of 41 from the outside. The Lakers shot 18 of 37 from 3. They beat them up points in the paint, ended up 50-40, but it was worse than that when the game was relatively within reach. And they had 33 assists on their 45 made shots. Whether it was points in the paint or points on the perimeter, the Lakers were pretty much getting whatever they wanted. Guys, this is the number to me. They didn't have a turnover the first 20 minutes of the ball game. The Lakers didn't have a turnover. I think the Clippers only had 4 at that time. But this is what the Clippers do. They are second in the league in points scored off turnovers per game, about 21. The level of intensity wasn't there. Lakers with 50 boards to the Clippers 36. Now, some of that is because the Clippers are missing way more shots, so there's more boards to be had. But second chance points. And the Lakers got to 12 quickly. I think that's what they average per game. They didn't need many second chance points because, well, they weren't exactly missing many shots, and not enough shots were contested out there. But they still had 11 offensive rebounds. They only went 14 to 23 at the charity stripe, by the way, as Bronny missed 2. And gave Clipper Nation a little bit of love, I guess. Free chicken. Is that the only positive coming out of this one? The fact that Patty Mills and Drew Eubanks got to play a little bit? I mean, I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel right here. This was ugly. 16 fast break points for the Lakers. 11 for the Clippers. 43 points off the bench for the Lakers. And this game was over after 3 quarters. If you're down 23 heading into the 4th quarter, the amount of teams that have won down by that much with 12 minutes left, that's near insurmountable. Clippers had it to within 13 in the 3rd, and the Lakers responded with a 7-0 run to put them back up by 20. And that was pretty much it. Clippers didn't have enough fight out there. This is not the Clippers team that we're used to seeing, especially against the Lakers. They are 38-11 against them the last 49 games. But right now, feels like the Lakers are on a 10-game winning streak against the Clippers with the way they just beat them up here at Intuit Dome. 122-97 was your final. I'm Adam Moslin. More post game coming up next here on AM 570 LA Sports. Done with this. All right, I'm back. Yeah, and the game was on TNT. Again, the Lakers, I came into this one saying, hey, you lose this game. I guess the team didn't hear this, but you lose this game, it's the worst loss of the season. And it is. It's not a game they got a day off tomorrow. They're playing Thursday, they're playing Saturday, then they have 3 days off. So they can't be looking ahead to those 3 days off. I agree with this from David Hong. They just beat the Bucks. Clippers lose big to the Lakers here at Intuit Dome, 122-97, and some people are melting down. Trying to put it in perspective, still believe this Clippers team, that's 6 games over 500, and what was this, Kawhi's 12th game of the season? That's it. Is in a good spot. Do they need to respond on Thursday? Yes. Do the real Clippers need to show up? Yes. I think they will. Tip-off, Clippers, Pacers from Intuit Dome is at 7:30. We'll have your pregame show starting at 6:30. This Clippers team tonight no-showed against the Lakers. I don't know how many times that has happened over the last 6 years. I mean, Coach Lou, they had won the first 11 games with him as their head coach against the Lakers. Lakers won the season series last year. And now they're 1-1 against the Clippers this season with 2 games left to play. And the reason I say it's the worst loss of the season is the Clippers have to win the head-to-head tiebreaker against the Lakers. Because after that, it goes to conference record, and the Lakers is better. So if it comes down to them having the same record, you want that head-to-head tiebreaker. I mean, not to mention it just helps your cause in the standings. They were a game back. Now they're 2 games back after this loss. I'm Adam Osland. Outside of Los Angeles, we are leaving you until Thursday. We're hoping for a big-time Clippers performance against the Indiana Pacers. Again, tip time at 7:30. Pre-game show starting at 6:30. Outside of Los Angeles, we are leaving you until Thursday. Up next on AM 570 LA Sports, we got Clippers talk. Sky is falling. Season's over. Trust me, says Ryan Rickley. The sky is not falling for me. 10:30. Now we got this guy Toby in here. He thinks because Kawhi had 2 bad games in a row. That's it. He's done. You gotta love the prisoners of the moment. Chris G said, the fact that you lose this on Luka's first night with the Lakers at the Dome, no heart, man. They weren't good. I don't know. There have been very few games this season where the Clippers just didn't show up, but this was one of them. And for that to happen against the Lakers, of all people, a team they always show up against, that's where my level of concern comes in. Like, this guy Toby is likely just going to get blocked. He just keeps spamming, saying Kawhi's done, all this stuff. Like, Man of the Year said 6 games over 500 in the season. Now the Clippers have the greatest accomplishment in NBA history with how many times I've heard 6 games over 500 repeated by Adam. Well, you're going to hear it because I don't overreact to one loss or one win. I put things in perspective. The fact that they are still 6 games over 500 with winnable games coming up, I'm not going to say the season is over like some of you guys, because we've been in worse spots. and it wasn't before. So I'm going to draw from that experience and call it the way I see it. But I'm not going to say this means they're losing the next 5 games or something. That's not how it works. Many of you guys said the win over the Wizards was the worst win ever. They came back and beat the Bucks afterwards, who were playing well. And overall, I've seen too many good things over the last month from this team. Clippers lose at home to the Lakers, 122-97 of all teams. Welcome back into Intuit Dome. I'm Adam Osland after, I think, the worst loss of the season. Most disappointing performance of the season by your Los Angeles Clippers, who dropped to 28-22 on the season, and now they're 2 games back of the Lakers. We'll update you on the Western Conference standings coming up. Welcome into Clippers Talk. If you'd like to get on, 866-987-2570, 866-987-2570 is the phone number. Clippers gave up 45 points in the first quarter to the Lakers. And that's why I say they just came out DOA. No showed. It was that bad. It was embarrassing. The Lakers had all the excuses coming into this game. They just traded for Luka Doncic. He's not available yet. They don't have AD. They don't have Max Christie, who is a starter for them. They started in this ball game Dorian Finney-Smith, Rui Hachimura, LeBron James, Jackson Hayes, and Austin Reeves. How does Ivica Zubac end up with 7 attempts from the field when last time out against AD, he has a 2019 game, 20 points, 19 boards. And now he's going up against Rui Hachimura. The Clippers' offense was nasty to watch. Their effort defensively was poor. And Coach Lue has said post-game, and we'll have more from him coming up, that he's pissed about the last 3 games now. He doesn't like the way they're playing. One of those games includes a win against Charlotte. So the next time people tell me a win's a win, please. I always tell you it matters how you play, win or loss. And they got smoked tonight. This wasn't, they had a bunch of open looks. They missed, and the Lakers were making tough shots from the outside that were well contested. Wasn't that. This was a lack of intensity, a lack of discipline, a lack of desire out there, and a complete lack of focus. This team has been a top 2 defense on the season for a reason. They didn't look like that tonight against a Lakers team down players that still shot 49% from the outside, 55% from the field, 49% from the outside. They made all the hustle plays, and they didn't have a turnover 20 minutes into the ball game. You want to talk about little resistance? Lakers are a decent team when it comes to taking care of the basketball, but the Clippers thrive off of getting deflections, steals. It's what they do. They turn you over. 20% of their points per game are coming off of turnovers. They're second best in the league in that area. And 20 minutes into this one, and the Lakers have 0 turnovers? That's shocking. But it speaks to the poor ball pressure defensive intensity out there by the Clippers. Uncharacteristically, they were awful in those ways. And that's their identity. So if they don't have that, it's going to be a long night. It was. Against anyone. Against anyone. Against a Lakers team that doesn't have Luka yet, that didn't have AD. That's just simply not good enough. And if you want to make excuses that, oh, they're coming back from a road trip, that first game can be shaky. Was this a matinee ball game? I don't know. What time is it, big bro? What's the excuse? The Lakers have been gone for 6 games. The Lakers just made a big shakeup with their roster. How are they looking like the team out there more connected with more familiarity? I know the Clippers brought in 2 guys that played during inconsequential garbage time in Drew Eubanks and Patty Mills. But there's no way to reason this one away. Not when you lose by a score of 122-97 to your in-city rival now, no longer hallway rival. When do the Clippers not get up for a game against the Lakers? I mean, how many times do Laker fans make fun of them, which is one of the most pathetic coping mechanisms? Oh, this is your championship playing us. So it's a basketball game. You should play hard. And the Clippers typically always do, especially against the Lakers. There should be more edge out there. There should be more fight. What happened tonight was the antithesis of that. They look like they needed smelling salts. That's really what's so surprising to me. And for Kawhi and James Harden to have back-to-back games like this, after they had a poor showing in Toronto, where they didn't have Norman Powell, and then tonight, those two combine to go 6 of 23 for a total of 18 points. Harden had 4 points in the first half, 3 points in the second half. It's 7 points total. He had 9 assists and 1 turnover. Okay. It's not making up for it. 2 of 12 from the field. Kawhi's 4 of 11. And I'm not overly concerned about Kawhi having 2 bad games in a row because overall he's looked really good in his 12 games so far. And he's getting to his spots and he's just, missing jumpers. The lift looks fine. Some people want to panic about that. But 2 games in a row, my antennas go up a little bit. It gets my attention. If it happens Thursday, I'll be in a Fred Rogan orange on the panic meter. I'm going on with Rogan and Rodney tomorrow at 1 p.m. on the AM 570 if you want to listen in. God, if I had known that we'd schedule that interview for tomorrow and the Clippers would perform like this, I'm going to get roasted tomorrow. I'm going to get cooked. Fred's going to be after me. I didn't sign up for this. This is just a pretty pitiful performance in every facet. The Clippers' bad start on defense tonight, being outscored 45-28, allowing 73 first half points. And the Lakers were 18-24 from the field in the first quarter, 7 of 11 from 3. They're not a good three-point shooting team. They're playing different lineups out of necessity because of the trade they made. How are they the ones that look like they're meshing out there? Instant chemistry. I know the Clippers got Norm back and Dunn has missed a handful of games recently, but he was back tonight. Now, him and DJ getting into foul trouble early, both having 2, had some effect, but come on. Doesn't excuse anything. Worst loss of the season. Clippers fall at home to the Lakers, 122-97. And while we have a moment, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network and AM 570 LA Sports. We'll start with Mike in LA. Mike, let's keep it to 30 seconds. Give everybody enough time here, but I appreciate you calling in as always, my friends. What's up? I agree with you. They need to respond. They got 4 games before the All-Star break. They need to turn this around immediately because I appreciate the phone call, Mike. The sense of urgency is not there. And I don't know if it's the trade deadline. I don't know if it's the road trip. I don't know if it's the All-Star break coming up. But what I do know is none of those things are a good enough excuse. And I know it's been trending the wrong way for some time because Coach Lou just said, I didn't like the last 3 games now. So he's going back to a game they won in Charlotte where they looked pretty unimpressive. Something needs to change Thursday. There needs to be a spark. There needs to be the right energy and spirit out there again from this team. Play harder. What's their identity coming into this season? When Coach Lou was asked that question back in Honolulu in the preseason, he said, we're going to play hard every night. For the most part, they have. But tonight, not doing so against the Lakers, that is very unusual. And so you lay an egg against this team, you can't get up for the Lakers. Something doesn't seem right. We'll take a quick timeout. We'll come back. Clippers lose 122-97 by 25 here at Intuit Dome to the Los Angeles Lakers. I'm Adam Osland, and you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network and AM 570 LA Sports. Now some of you want to blow it up. What a difference a week makes. I mean, I can name a play tonight, Toby, where he went to his right in the third quarter for a layup, Kawhi. I mean, I can actually give you plays where this happened. And his lift on his jumper looks fine. He has to rely on his midi. Great. He's like God tier in the mid-range, like he's always been. And it's an impossible shot to defend. And he just looks through defenders. So I'm not overly concerned about it. Maybe energy pop-wise, a little bit. Maybe he looks tired. Again, there was no structural damage. It was swelling. And it's only his 12th game back. It's always taken Kawhi time to ramp up. And there's going to be some ups and downs. Now I bring up an actual play. He's like, okay, a few plays here and there. First, you're like, he can't get to the rim. Now I bring up an actual play where he does. And you're like, well, a few plays here and there. It's like, yeah, he's been living in the mid-range for years. So you're saying he's not the same player. He's doing the same stuff. I'm not trading Kawhi for Jimmy Butler. You guys watch Jimmy Butler this season? Clippers were outscored in the first quarter, the second quarter, and the fourth quarter. They tied the Lakers scoring-wise in the third. That's a pretty miserable ball game. Clippers lose 122-97, and now I got people in the chat at Clippers Talk on the YouTube side saying, Kawhi for Jimmy Butler. Have you all watched Jimmy Butler this season? He's older. He's not as good at anything. But Kawhi has 2 bad games in a row. And People are saying, trade him. He's done. He's washed. I mean, overall, the Clippers are playing poorly. It's not one guy. And this was a really bad performance tonight. And the Clippers lost by 25 to the Lakers at home after returning from a road trip. And I am extremely disappointed with the way they played out there. I am. It's not good enough. Coach Lou is upset as well. They had it down to a 13-point lead, though, at the 7:30 mark of the third quarter after a Derrick Jones Jr. dunk. And there seemed to be some life from this team. Seemed to be. Right afterwards, Austin Reeves has Zoo matched up against him. Top of the arc, drains a three. Then gets an easy layup, and then I think Rui had one. Just cutting through the lane. It's back up to 20. The game's over. They had one push in the third quarter. They made it interesting for a second, and then the game was over. Clippers didn't have enough fight. They didn't seem like they wanted it enough. This is not just something schematic. This is not the Lakers having a huge talent advantage or anything like that tonight when they don't even have Luka Doncic yet. This is the Clippers not living up to their identity and their DNA of playing hard, which leads to all those turnovers they get, they turn into points. They're second best in the league in that area. Something else, though, has happened the last 5 games. Carlo brought it up. Teams have been shooting better from three against the Clippers lately. Last 5 games heading into this one, they're at 38.5% from three. When on the season, they've been about 33% from three. Clippers have been a top team when it comes to opponent three-point percentage. And then tonight, the Lakers end up going 18 of 37 from three. That's 49%. Meanwhile, the Clippers have not been shooting it well from three for some time. In fact, I'm going to go back 15 games here because they started off the season hot from there. Things stabilized, balanced out a little bit, but they've been bad lately. Last 15 games, the Clippers are shooting 33.7% from three. Now, for the most part, they've gotten by 8 and 7 over that time because their defense was so good. But now, last 5 games, teams are starting to shoot much better against the Clippers from three. Is that wonky shot variance? Teams just being hot that night? Or is it more open threes and a lack of intensity from the Clippers on the perimeter and everywhere? Because I think part of the reason they've been good against teams when it comes to three-point shooting on the season, where teams are shooting 34.6% from three against them overall. 4th best in the league, the Clippers are. One of the reasons I think that is because they're physical out there and they take out your legs. So even if they're not closing out on you, guys are tired, they're gassed, they're missing short. But the defense hasn't been as good. And now the last 5 games heading into this one, teams shot 38.5%. And the Lakers, who aren't a good three-point shooting team tonight, just shot 49% from three. Maybe something to it. 866-987-2570 is the phone number. Let's go to Tom leaving the game. Tom, you got 30 so we can get everyone in. Appreciate you, Tom. What's up? Thank you, Bronny James. Is that why Bronny gets cheers in arenas? Because by the time he gets into ball games, typically, it's the 4th quarter, there's a blowout, and he might be shooting free throws, and there is a Chick-fil-A or another prize on the line. No, I wish him well. He seems like a great young man, and it is incredible that LeBron is playing with his son. I know some people hate it. I'm still like at times when I see, I think it was the game against the Knicks recently, Bronny checks in for LeBron James at the end of the game. It's like, this is wild to see. It's crazy. But To your points there, Tom, talking about everyone looking flat-footed. Yeah. No sense of urgency. The ball pressure wasn't there. Appreciate the phone call. We're seeing the same thing. And that's just not good enough. That's concerning. Let's hear from Mark in Westwood. Mark, what's up? You're on Clipper Staff with Adam Austin. Hi, Mark. Mark in Huntington Beach. Mark, what's up? How did Coach Lou blow it? Yep. But is it Coach Lou's fault that they're down 45-29 in the first quarter? Is that on Coach Lou? Is he saying, "Hey, just let the Lakers get anything they want out there"? Is that what he was telling them in the huddle? Yeah, they're getting points in transition too, which also count for points in the paint. It's frustrating, Mark. They weren't good. I honestly, I'm putting this one on the effort from the players more than anything. I'm not saying the coaches were perfect. I'm not saying, and you heard me, I came out and said Zubac's only getting 7 shots against this Lakers team without Anthony Davis when he just basically had a 2020 game against them a week and a half ago or 2 weeks ago. How does that happen? How are they not getting him the basketball more? That frustrates me all the time. All right, I appreciate the phone call, Mark. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back. Clippers lose to the Lakers, 122-97 here at Intuit Dome. Frustration boiled over in the ball game at one point as Ivica Zubac got into it with Dorian Finney-Smith. That's not the fight I was looking for. And be honest, it was far too little too late for the Clippers to start to look like they cared out there. KPJ getting a technical while he's on the bench, and the Lakers at the free throw line. That stuff's not helping you. I get they got into it with the officials. They didn't lose this game because the officials, guys. They lost this game because they didn't bring it. I'm Adam Osland. You're listening to Clippers Talk here on AM 570 LA Sports. So apparently Coach Lou really laid into him post-game, guys, as he should. He said the last 3 games have really pissed me off. He said we need to look ourselves in the mirror because they're losing their identity right now. And I think that's what you worry about. You can lose games, but you have to play a Clippers brand of basketball. And they haven't been defensively. That's who they are. That's how they've gotten by this season. In fact, while they're still second defensively on the year, if I go, let's see here. Oh, come on. NBA.com's killing me. If I go last 6 games, I want to see where their defense has been. Defensive rating. Okay, last 6 games, their defensive rating, including tonight's game, is 21st. 21st. Last 6 games. They're second on the season. They've been that good. Last 6 games, they are 21st defensively. That's just not the Clippers. It's cool. I'll just read it because they wouldn't be able to hear it, but I appreciate it, man. And so now we have the updated numbers. It doesn't seem to be updated yet because it should be higher than that. Yeah, they haven't updated the 3-point numbers because it's going to be even higher than 38% over the last 6 games after what the Lakers just shot from 3. But this is worst loss of the season. Easily to me. Easily. Because they don't look like the same team. Clippers lose 122-97 against the Lakers. It feels like they're at a crossroads right now, with Coach Lue saying we need to look ourselves in the mirror post-game, saying, quote, the last 3 games have really pissed me off. One of those games is a win. He doesn't care. That win against Charlotte, they didn't play the right way. And tonight, they might have had 3 good minutes of basketball out of the 48. It was that bad from the Clippers against the Lakers, against the team they are known for beating. They were 38-10 against them since 2012 coming into this game. And tonight they completely looked apathetic, disinterested, and disengaged. That's strange to see. That's bizarro Clippers. And that's why I have some level of concern, and I need them to perform on Thursday against Indiana. Show who they are again. That doesn't just mean a victory. That means winning the Clippers brand of basketball and playing that brand of basketball again, winning that way. Some people are saying this is a trade deadline, a distraction. I don't know. Was it for the Lakers? Didn't seem like it was for them. So I can't make any of these excuses. I can't. Yeah. You can't play hard the entire season for 82 games because you will get burnt out. But either they didn't have it in the tank to play hard tonight, which is concerning in its own right, or they just didn't get up for the ball game. And they typically always get up for games against the Lakers. If they don't get up for it, why? Because the trade deadline? Are you telling me, well, the Lakers' big move is behind them, so they were playing free and loose out there? I still think they're making another move. I still think their guys could be looking over their shoulder, feeling like no one's safe. The Clippers, it's hard to have blinders on. They're human beings. I understand it. Relocating, it's not easy. But the Lakers did it tonight. The Lakers have been on a 6-game road trip. The Clippers came back after being on a 4-game road trip. So I'm not going to be able to just write this off of, oh, trade deadline, unique circumstances. No. They had the same stuff going on as the Lakers. And they played great. And they came out shot out of a cannon. And LeBron dominated them. Funny, all these LeBron people that have some type of like LeBron derangement syndrome or something that are always criticizing him and saying, oh, he sucks and all this. Like, I'm not seeing him here tonight after he just wrecked the Clippers. Dominated them. Best player on the floor at 40. That shouldn't happen against Kawhi and James Harden. Neither of those guys has a good game tonight. Norman Powell had 20. He looked good. I thought DJ was very good. But if you're relying on Derrick Jones Jr. to save you, that's problematic. Oh, he's hot tonight. We're just going to see if he can keep it going from the outside. He might have started 3 of 4, 3 of 5. He ended up 3 of 7. And then went back to the well. Eventually started missing. He had a good game. I'm just saying everybody has a role. I don't think Kawhi and James Harden lived up to their end of the bargain tonight, nor Vita Zubas, who, yeah, he only got up 7 shots. I don't like that. He also didn't take advantage of his minutes. He didn't play with enough force out there. Did they just overlook the Lakers? Was this a trap game for the Clippers? Oh, the Lakers aren't going to give a great effort tonight. They're good waiting for the cavalry to arrive in Luka Doncic. You can't do that. LeBron James is still out there. Austin Reeves cooked him. Jackson Hayes looked good out there tonight. He just struggled at times. Rui Hachimura had 20. How many backdoor cuts do we have to see? Like that type of stuff, that's effort, attention, focus. All those backdoor cuts by the Lakers in this game. I don't know what the Clippers thought they were getting into tonight, but they didn't have the requisite fight that you need to have and that they typically always have against the Lakers. I don't care who's not available. LeBron still is. Clippers lose by 25 to the Lakers here at Intuit Dome. 122-97 was your final. We'll take a timeout. We'll get back to your phone calls. 866-987-2570, 866-987-2570, as it feels like a gut check moment for this team, as they got 4 games left before the All-Star break. And they got to get back to playing Clippers basketball, to being a great defense. Last 6 games now, they are 21st defensively. Second on the year, so you know it's there. That's who they are. That's a lot more than 6 games. That's 44 games versus the last 6 where they're just 21st defensively. I'm Adam Osland, and you're listening to Clippers Talk here on AM 570 LA Sports. Yeah, even Kawhi defensively, that Mexican R, he was caught being late to react to closeouts, being late to react as the last line of defense on some of those backdoor cuts. You're completely right. Nothing was up to par for this Clippers team. This 25-point loss is the largest the Clippers have suffered to the Los Angeles Lakers since January 15th of 2010. That's a Lakers team that went on to win the championship. It's their largest home loss to the Lakers since October 29th of 2008. And really, it's their first real home loss to the Lakers. And for it to happen, when you know, okay, there's no Luka tonight, you got to take advantage of that. They could have gone up 2-0 in the season series. Then you just need one of the next 2. You've won the head-to-head tiebreaker. Shockingly bad performance from the Clippers tonight. And I've hammered them. Kawhi said the Clippers' second group has to get better. Quote, I feel like our second team has to get better. The start of that second quarter has kind of been like that since I've been back. That's an interesting comment. I got something from Ty Lue post-game from Joey Lynn here that I'll read for you in a second. But Kawhi saying that second team has to get better. I don't know. Some might interpret that as he's asking for a move for them to improve. Clippers lose by 25 to the Lakers. Their worst loss to them since 2010, 15 years ago. I'm Adam Osland. Welcome back into Intuit Dome. After they lose 122-97 to the Los Angeles Lakers, they're tied with them in the season series 1-1. Just brought up this quote from Joey Lynn off air from Kawhi Leonard saying, I feel like our second team has to get better. The start of that second quarter has kind of been like that since I've been back. Some may interpret that as, oh, they just got to get better as a unit. Some may interpret that as, does Kawhi want them to improve the roster? Then again, if Kawhi felt that way, he might just say it. Didn't actually parse his words. Here was Ty Lue, more from what he said post-game. This is a quote from Joey Lynn from Coach Lue. We have to take pride in guarding. That's who we've been all season. We got to be better. We got to look ourselves in the mirror and think about, do we want to win or not? 3 games in a row, we come out with not a good defensive performance and just not putting enough into the game. When that happens, you get blown out. Someone asked, is it an effort issue? Coach Lue said, quote, focus, effort, intensity, whatever you want to call it, we're not bringing it. We got to fix for that. It's everything we've been talking about post-game. Coach Lue said it. And that's it right there. They've identified the problem. They've addressed it. They're talking about looking in the mirror. So everybody can talk about, oh, does this mean the Clippers need to go out and make a big move or make a big trade and all these things? Like, we've seen for the majority of the season, they have the guys internally to be a very good ball club. But Coach Lue also stressed pregame, saying that, look, we're the type of team, we can beat anybody, but we can also get beat. And tonight you see that against an undermanned, shorthanded Lakers team that doesn't even have Luka yet and didn't have AD, obviously. That's how this goes. So you've gotten by on playing hard. The reason your record is where it is at 28-22 is because of these things. Playing hard, playing with intensity, winning the hustle categories, doing the little things. When that stuff goes, you don't have enough talent to make up for it. Those are non-negotiables. You have to do those things to win ball games. That's what you've been living off of all season long. You can't have a letdown because, oh, Kawhi's back. I'm not saying that's what it is, but right now that's my best theory for the slippage defensively last 6 games, where they are 21st defensively, and on the season they're second. You know how good you have to be to hold on to being second defensively overall in the season when you have a 6-game stretch where you're 21st? And that tells you just how good they have been on the defensive end. Because they can go 6 games and play this poorly defensively, and they're still second defensively on the year. So get back to it. That's what you do. If there's tired legs, I guess you got to switch up minutes and rotations. But no excuse for Thursday night for having tired legs when nobody played more than 30 minutes. I hope everyone gets some good rest, regroups, hits the reset button, and gets back to basics. The basics for this Clippers team: defense, defense, defense. That's it. That's their makeup. That's their character. That's their identity. That's their DNA. They got to do it at a high level. Focus, intensity, grit. Sure, DJ and Chris Dunn having 2 fouls early on, that definitely affects things. Not to this degree. I expect a completely different Clippers team that we have come to love, come to know on this season, show up on Thursday. The real Clippers. Will the real Clippers defense please stand up? That's it. Just do what you do best. Be yourself out there. That's how you win ball games. Indiana, hey, I know the Pacers, they lost to a hot Portland team, 112-89. Guess what? Overall, they have been playing better. They got a day off tomorrow too. They're going to be wanting to respond. That's not an easy ball game. And we got the trade deadline coming up at noon on Thursday as well. Before we get out of here, I do want to thank the Clippers organization, Ralph Lawler, Brian Seaman, Noah Eagle, Carlo Jimenez on the call, Big Brother Jake Warner, our head engineer, our statistician, Chris Taylor, and back in the bank, producer Daniel West. Until Thursday, with the Clippers taking on the Pacers back here at Intuit Dome, tip-off at 7:30, pregame at 6:30. I'm Adam Moslin. We'll talk to you then. Thank you, Daniel. Guys, have a good night.